Your brain is genuinely addicted to doing nothing, not metaphorically, neurologically. And the scary part is, the more you give into it, the harder it becomes to do anything that actually matters. But here's what nobody explains. It's not laziness, it's not a character flaw, it's dopamine. And once you understand what it's doing to you, you can't unlearn it. Be honest about something for a second. How many times have you sat down to do something important? Study, work on a project, go to the gym, do literally anything productive, and instead found yourself an hour deep into your phone, without quite knowing how you got there. And the worst part isn't the wasted hour, it's the feeling after. That low, flat, slightly disgusted feeling where you know you've just done it again. Where you had every intention of being different today, and somehow the same thing happened anyway. And then comes the thought that's more damaging than the procrastination itself. Maybe I'm just lazy. Maybe I don't have what it takes. That thought is wrong, completely wrong, but it's convincing. Because from the inside, it really does feel like a personal failure. It isn't, it's a neurological one. And the difference between those two things changes everything about how you fix it. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what dopamine is doing to your brain, why modern life has essentially hacked your motivation system without your permission, and what actually resets it. The last section is the one that makes all this actionable. Don't skip it. Here's the first thing to understand, and it reframes everything. Dopamine is not the pleasure chemical. That's the popular version, and it's wrong. Dopamine is the anticipation chemical. It's released not when you get something, but when your brain expects to get something. It's the neurological engine of motivation, craving, and seeking behavior. When dopamine fires, you don't feel satisfied. You feel the urge to pursue. It's the feeling that makes you pick up your phone without deciding to. The feeling that makes you open the fridge when you're not hungry. The compulsion to check notifications even when you know there's nothing there. That's dopamine, not pleasure, drive. And here's where it gets important. Your brain's dopamine system evolved in a world that drive was pointed at things that required real effort. Hunting, building, creating, solving problems. The reward came after genuine investment. Modern life has completely broken that equation. Social media, junk food, endless streaming, pornography. These aren't just distractions. They are super stimuli, inputs that trigger dopamine release at levels the brain was never designed to handle. Faster, easier, and more intense than anything available in the natural world. And your brain responds the only way it knows how, by recalibrating. When dopamine spikes repeatedly at unnaturally high levels, the brain downregulates its own receptors. It literally reduces its sensitivity to dopamine to compensate, which means the baseline, the normal everyday level, starts to feel flat, empty, unbearable. This is why sitting with a task that requires actual focus feels almost physically uncomfortable after a morning of scrolling. Your brain has been running on dopamine spikes all day. Real work, which produces slow, gradual, earned reward, can't compete with that stimulation level. It's not that you don't want to do the work, it's that your reward system has been recalibrated away from it. You're not lazy, you're overstimulated. There's a significant difference. Here's where it gets genuinely uncomfortable. The behaviour people reach for when they feel unmotivated, scrolling, snacking, watching something, doesn't restore motivation, it deepens the hole. Every time you feel the pull toward low effort stimulation and follow it, you're reinforcing the neural pathways that says, when discomfort arises, seek easy dopamine. And discomfort, the kind that precedes all meaningful work, starts to feel more and more intolerable, because you've trained your brain to escape it rather than sit with it. Neuroscientist Anna Lemke's, who studies dopamine and addiction, describes modern life as a dopamine deficit state, where chronic overstimulation leaves people feeling flat, anxious, and unmotivated in the very moments they're trying to do things that matter to them the most. That flat feeling you get staring at something you're meant to do but can't start, that's a depleted dopamine baseline, not a personality trait. Let's sit with something uncomfortable for a moment. Think about the goals you have, the things you have been meaning to build, start, or change. The version of yourself that's been waiting in the background while the days stack up. Now think about how much of your daily stimulation is pointed towards those things, and how much is pointed away from them toward the easy stuff. That gap isn't a productivity problem, Over time, it becomes an identity problem. Every day you follow the path of least resistance. You're quietly reinforcing the belief that you're someone who can't follow through, that the ambition is real, but the execution isn't. And the longer that goes on, the more convincing that story becomes. But here's what changes everything. The dopamine system is not fixed, it's plastic. It recalibrates in both directions, and what recalibrates it is simpler than most people expect. The most effective intervention for a hijacked dopamine system is deliberate, temporary absence from superstimuli. This is what people mean by a dopamine detox, though the term is slightly misleading. You're not removing dopamine, you're removing the artificial spikes so the baseline can rise back to a functional level. In practical, that means periods, not even short ones, where you remove the high stimulation inputs. No social media, no streaming, no junk food, no pornography. Not forever, just long enough for the nervous system to remember what it feels like to sit in quiet without immediately needing to escape from it. What most people report after even 24 to 48 hours of this is striking. Things that felt boring before, a walk, reading, a conversation, actual work, start to feel engaging again. Not because those things changed, because the baseline shifted back toward them. Your brain doesn't lose the ability to find meaning in real things. It just got drowned out. Here's the insight that makes this more than just a productivity hack. The reason dopamine hijacking is so damaging isn't just that it kills your focus or your motivation in the short term. It's that it systematically disconnects you from the things that generate genuine long-term satisfaction. Research consistently shows that the activities most associated with lasting well-being, deep work, meaningful relationships, creative output, physical challenge, all share one characteristic. They require tolerating discomfort before the reward arrives. And a brain that has been trained to flee discomfort the moment it appears will consistently choose the easy thing over the meaningful one. Not because the meaningful thing doesn't matter, but because the gap between starting and feeling rewarded has become too wide to cross. Reclaiming your dopamine baseline isn't about becoming more productive. It's about becoming someone who can actually access the life they want, instead of watching it from the sofa while they scroll past it. That flat, stuck, slightly hollow feeling, it was never who you are. It was your brain, overstimulated, recalibrated, and slowly pointed away from everything that actually matters to you. The good news is the same system that got you here can get you out. Not through willpower, through understanding what's happening, and making different inputs the default. One day of less noise, one morning without the phone, 1 hour pointed at something real. That's where the reset begins. If you learned something in this video, drop a like, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this.